We're talking today about picking a ram for breeding purposes. So we have our 2023 spring rams. These are our spring ram lambs. So we have Dave, JJ, the other dark one over there is Coco, and then Oreo is the white and black one. So these are our 4 2023 spring ram lambs. We're not going to use these guys for breeding. Chico is the big guy here. That's the big fella. He is the sire of all these lambs. And then we also have right here, we have Ricky. He's an Australian white Katahdin cross. And we actually purchased him for our breeding program. The reason we picked him is because we get so hot here in Missouri in the summertime that we wanted to go with a lighter color coat so that they can deal with the hottest part of the summer a little bit better. The other reason is because the Australian whites are renowned for their meat quality and their ability to thrive on forage in a really hot, arid, droughty environment. So that was the whole purpose of picking up Ricky. So we're going to start our November breeding plans with Ricky and see how he does. He's pretty young. He's also a 2023 ram, but we're going to see how he does, and if he doesn't perform the way that we need him to, we still have Chico back here, the big fellow. We can use him again on our older ewes. So that is our plan, and we can kind of go into the way that we can ensure that we have a good quality ram. One of the ways is to make sure that they have good reproductive organ size and shape. You want to make sure that they're symmetrical and that they're large. You don't want a tiny set, and you don't want a set that's just way too huge. Some people would probably argue that, but I think as long as they have a large set on them and they're symmetrical and you don't see any weird bulges or anything, that should be a healthy ram. Some people even measure and send off samples. We're not going to do any of that stuff here. We're not really like professional breeders or anything like that. This is just going to be our second year doing this in the first place. But our whole purpose here for these guys is not to make show quality sheep. Our purpose is to have really good meat and to make sure that they can thrive on pasture here in Missouri. So far so good. All of our sheep are really healthy. All of our lambs have been really healthy. We haven't had to medicate them at all. We do give them a CDT shot, but other than that, that's just a vaccination. Other than that, none of them have gotten wormy. None of them have had any foot issues, eye issues, nothing. Chico here has been a really good ram. He's got great size on him. He is a Dorper Katahdin cross. He's got great size on him. He's got a big old set of testicles on him. He's got great feet. He has not required any kind of medical intervention at all. He doesn't get parasite loaded. He doesn't have bad feet. He's been awesome. The only reason that we're not going to start our breeding program this year with him is because he's got this much darker coat and because he's got more of the Katahdin shape to him. So he's got really long legs, and he still is a little bit hairy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just not exactly what we're going for here. We get super hot in the summer here, so we want to go with a lighter colored sheep, and we want to make sure that they're going to be able to tolerate the heat here in Missouri a lot better. So you guys might have noticed that Ricky has a purple head, and the reason for that is it's been sprayed with blue coat, because he has these tiny little scurs here, these little guys right here. But those scurs will never actually turn into actual horns, but they do tend to get busted if they're roughhousing a little bit too much. And so he's busted one of them, and so we sprayed it with blue coat, and it did bleed just a little tiny bit, but sometimes they bleed quite a bit, and in that case you would probably want to seek some veterinary care or something. But But he's just fine, and we sprayed it with some blue coat, and he seems to be doing really well. So we're not concerned about that at all. He's not tender on it or anything. But we did want to spray it with something just to make sure he doesn't get an infection or anything like that. All these guys are really, really friendly, and maybe a little too friendly sometimes, but they're all excellent quality, so somebody's going to get some good rams, and the ones that we don't end up selling here, we're going to probably harvest for some meat, because that is the majority of the purpose for our breeding these sheep, is to make sure that we have some meat in the freezer. So these guys are our 2023 ewe lambs. We got 3 ewes and we had 4 rams. So they're all really healthy. None of these guys have required any kind of medication or anything like that. They're really doing great on forage. They're growing really, really well. One of them does stand out above the other 2, and that's the lighter colored one. That's Mary, we're calling her. And she's that lighter colored one. Let's see, right there. And the reason that she's a standout is just because of her overall size, and the bone and cartilage structure of her face is just quite a bit bigger than the other 2. They're all really good sheep, but one of them definitely stands out above the rest. So Mary is one that we're really looking at as a prime example of what we want moving forward. So hopefully next year a lot of our lambs will be the same size and kind of that lighter color to deal with the heat better that Mary is. Now we don't intend to introduce a ram to these ewe lambs right now. They're just not quite old enough. We got a little bit of a late start last year in our breeding program. We didn't get a ram in time for the start of November like we wanted to. We shopped around quite a bit. We visited several farms before we actually picked a ram that we wanted. And by the time we did that, it was already into December. So our lambs are a little bit younger than what we would have wanted. So we're not gonna breed these particular ewes starting in November. We may, if they still have a cycle later on in the winter and they've reached the size that's a healthy size to breed them, we may breed them at that point, or we might just wait until next season. We'll have to wait and see. So these are our adult ewes. These are going to be bred in November. Hopefully all of them will be anyways. So the ram is going to be introduced into their paddock when we bring them over. This white one here, that's Joy. She was actually a December born lamb from last winter, and she was from a ewe that we bought that we did not know was already bred. So she was a surprise when she came. But she has reached pretty much adult size. She's about the same size as the rest of them. She definitely has a different look. She really has that white, really fluffy. She's got the big beard going on. So she really has that Katahdin look, and she is a really prime example of something that we're going for. She's probably going to get a little bit bigger than she is right now, but I don't think she's going to get too much taller, and hopefully she'll just fill out more muscular as she gets a little bit bigger. But so that dorper on the far side there that's standing up, that's Star, and she is really, really built. She's probably the most muscular, largest frame sheep that we have out of all the ewes, and she is probably about the perfect example of what we're going for as far as body size goes. She doesn't have super long legs, but she's very, very, very muscular. And so she's going to have a lot of meat on her, and that's really what we're after. She does really good on the forage, and her frame is just excellent. She's, if you take a look at her, kind of zoom in on her, she's just huge. Now she did not actually have a lamb last spring, so we'll see if she does this year. But as far as body size goes, she's about perfect. And that's probably one of the reasons why she looks so much bigger than the rest, but she already did last year too. The rest of them have had lambs. One of them has had a set of twins. So they've, of course, lost some body condition from having lambs and having to feed them all spring and summer. So they're putting on some size now. But I just wanted to point out Star and show you guys kind of what we're after. We want a really muscular sheep that's going to have a lot of meat, but that also does really, really good on the forage on our property and can deal with the heat really well. Like I said, we're not professional breeders. We're not looking to do show quality sheep or anything like that. We're just looking for good meat quality and really, really, really good health. So we're going to start in November by bringing Ricky over. He's our Australian White Katahdin cross. We're going to bring him over to start with into the adult ewes here. And we're going to see how he does. He's younger. He's definitely not got the same size yet as Chico did when he came in, because he came in and just got the job done right away. We hit a blizzard right after we got him, and it was like 40 below outside. And he was out there just handling business, and I just couldn't believe it. So he is an excellent, excellent, excellent ram. Like I said, the only reason why we're going to start with Ricky is because he has some of the other characteristics, the physical characteristics that we're looking for. He has the lighter color, and the Australian Whites are really renowned for their excellent meat quality. They refer to them as the Wagyu of sheep. So, should we eat my buttons? So if it turns out that Ricky doesn't seem like he got the job done, we're going to give him some time. We'll probably give him a few cycles or a couple cycles and see how he does. And if it looks like everybody's bred at that point, then we'll probably be done with the whole breeding process. If not, then probably what we're going to do is we'll take Ricky out and we'll probably bring Chico in, and he can definitely follow up from behind and finish the job. So he's kind of our backup plan still. Like I said, he was an excellent ram. He's really healthy. He does really good on our forage here. So he can definitely finish the job if Ricky's just a little too young to get it done. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you guys like what you saw today, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel so you can see more.